From when he padded his stats with a triple-double controversy to the time he angrily headbutted another player, here is why everyone hates Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's start off by talking about his latest triple-double controversy.
And that'll do it. Oh, he got it. Does that count? It's got it, right?
Giannis made a hilariously shameful attempt at padding his stats as the Bucks went up against the Washington Wizards. The two-time NBA MVP ended the game with 23 points, 13 assists, and 10 rebounds. But the way he got that 10th rebound led to a lot of criticism coming his way. So let me tell you what happened. The Bucks were leading by 6 points and time was really coming down. Giannis missed an uncontested shot from point-blank range. In doing so, he managed to secure his 10th rebound and get that triple-double. Fans were left stunned by the feat as they recognized that Giannis was playing quite selfishly. Pretty soon, Giannis became a meme on social media.
Get back on track after winning 16 straight, losing to Philly, and he's under the rim. Bumps a shot, that's a rebound. I think it's official, Lisa.
One fan tweeted that the move was shameless, whereas others drew a comparison to what Ricky Davis did back in 2003. While some fans joked around, others were seriously disappointed in the Greek freak. Of course, if you ask me, the timing just couldn't have been worse, because this all happened while the NBA world was already having a debate over players who pad their stats. There's no doubt that Antetokounmpo lost a lot of loyal fans that fateful night. And it wasn't just fans who were disappointed in the player's actions, so was the NBA. His performance may have counted as a triple-double in the moment, but not for long after that.
Giannis picking up some speed. Pump fake, finger roll, finish with the left hand. Mr. Fantastic, if you will. See you don't want to...
Giannis really should have enjoyed the badge while he could, because soon after the match, NBA officials decided to revoke it. There have been many times when the NBA has reviewed stats for accuracy. Even if you get a point on the field, it can be taken away if it is deemed to be inaccurate. In order to be counted, the rebound shot must be made with the intent to score a field goal. And that's not just me talking, this is in the NBA rules. So if you ask me, it made complete sense that his last rebound was revoked.
You know, in those situations, it's best to kind of keep the ball. But yeah, just try to play the game smart and kind of stole one.
But believe it or not, this isn't the only controversy on the field that Giannis has gotten himself involved in, although the next one was technically not during an official game. That's right, I'm talking about the infamous ladder controversy. After all, this incident is what led to bad blood between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. It all started when the 76ers absolutely thrashed the Bucks, earning a 110-102 victory. And this was then playing without their star players, including James Harden and Tobias Harris.
He'll stay with the 1 3-pointer. Keegan Murray was scoreless in the Kings game. Giannis back on the board.
This was no doubt a humiliating defeat for the Bucks, and Giannis was understandably very upset, especially because fans were blaming him for the loss. I mean, the Bucks could have easily pulled the lead, but what really made them lag behind me was Giannis's poor throws. I mean, he finished 4 for 15 from the foul line. Right after the game, Antetokounmpo went back on the floor to get some free throw practice in. As he was doing that, the 76ers' Montrezl Harrell took the basketball and apparently told him to get off the Philly court. In response, Giannis went back to the locker room, returning with 2 more basketballs. At this point, the arena workers had set up a ladder under the basket to remove the cameras from the hoop, and Giannis was pissed. He moved the ladder away and started to practice, but then the workers moved it back a few months later, and this time, Giannis has had enough, and for good reason. He angrily shoved the ladder over, and the entire thing was captured on video. Unsurprisingly, he got a lot of criticism from fans. In particular, they sympathized with the poor arena workers. They claimed that the workers had been treated unfairly. After all, they were just doing their job, right? It's not their fault Giannis was frustrated from the loss. Because of the backlash, Giannis issued a public apology. But what he said just made NBA fans hate him even more. He stated that he didn't even know if he should apologize because he felt he'd done nothing wrong. Yikes. He added that he was just trying to practice his skills after a horrible night at the free throw line, and any other player would do the same. In the end, the Greek player added that he never intended to disrespect anyone. In fact, Giannis said he felt disrespected when he was told to get off the court and stopped practicing. His reasoning was a bit off though, as he said that this was his job and he was paid to do this. Of course, he's paid to play basketball, but I'm sure he doesn't make any extra cash at solo practices after the game.
Obviously, in the fourth quarter, there's a lot of free throws. Made some tough threes.
Anyways, that incident sort of left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It especially ruined the relationship between Antetokounmpo and Harrell. But that's not the only time Giannis has lost his cool. Many have even started to question whether he has seriously violent tendencies. After all, just look at what he did to Mo Wagner. If you haven't heard about this, you've got to be living under a rock, because it was all over the internet when it first happened. It all started when Wagner took a charge against Antetokounmpo in the second quarter. After that, the Greek player looked like he was really angry. He followed Mo to the other end of the court and then headbutted him a few seconds later, and the entire stadium fell silent as fans were shocked.
You cannot risk anything. I mean,
Is that a headbutt?
The NBA officials were definitely not having it though. They suspended him for one game. After the incident, Giannis said he felt terrible about what happened. He really regretted what he'd done and said that if he could go back in time and change things, he would. But as usual, he also offered an explanation for his behavior. Now there's a fine line between explaining why you made a mistake and justifying that mistake, and it's always hard to tell where Giannis falls. Anywho, the Greek player explained that he was just frustrated and lost his cool. And Mo isn't the only NBA player that Giannis has beef with. He's also on bad terms with James Harden, although no one really knows why they started disliking each other in the first place. It all started when Giannis was in his rookie days. With these two, it was hate at first sight. Reportedly, they got into it in one of their very first meetings, which resulted in Harden pushing Giannis away. But the feud really reached its peak in 2020. Giannis won the MVP award in 2019, and he just happened to be chosen over Harden. To say that James and his team didn't take it well would be an understatement. They straight up said that Giannis didn't deserve the title, and I guess it made sense because Harden had a historical season in 2019. He averaged 34.3 points per game, and there were many games where he had 30 and 40 plus points. You don't see performance like that often. Even NBA fans were convinced he was the best player of the year. So obviously it came as a bit of a shock when Giannis won the award in the end. But things escalated the following year, when Giannis was elected as the All-Star captain. The first thing he did was choose Kemba Walker over James for the draft. In doing so, he made a comment that implied that Harden doesn't pass the ball, and Harden responded with a bombshell interview where he basically said Giannis doesn't have any skills, and the only reason he's a decent player is that he's 7 feet tall and can run and dunk. Now, that's harsh. Thankfully, the feud has died down since then, but again, the resentment has definitely stayed. And that's a wrap for why people hate Giannis Antetokounmpo.